What's up, YouTube? Happy New Year. Looking forward to an amazing 2025 and to the 139 people who subscribe to my channel. Means a lot. I'm very touched that you would even subscribe and watch some of my videos. But yeah, I think that's really cool. But haven't done a video in a while. The entire family has been sick. We all got the flu. We've been bedridden since about Monday. Finally was able to get out and try to work out. I did a quick chest workout and then came up with an idea to do my next video on the Specialized Tarmac, which is why it's in the background. I got a lot of comments talking about why a lot of you favor the Tarmac over the Madone, and a lot of comments talking about they're debating and deciding what bike to get, and watching my videos help them lean towards the Tarmac. So I want to talk about why I like the Tarmac as an endurance bike as well as a performance bike, but why this bike can also serve as an endurance bike. I know the Specialized brand has the Roubaix if you want to go that route, and then Trek has the Dumani if you want to go that route also. But if you're going to buy a performance bike, you can actually kind of turn it into an endurance bike. You just got to upgrade the tires to maybe 32 millimeters, get some road endurance tires. Like I have the S-Works Bliss tires on here. And then it also comes with the Pro Mirror seat already. And I think I showed it to you in the previous video. So what I did was I took a bunch of measurements on this bike and on the Madone, and I know the websites already have the geometry and the measurements on there, but I really wanted to take it firsthand and basically see the differences with my own eyes. But yeah, let's I don't know if there's going to be a part 2 or part 3 to this video. I plan on writing it also and talking about why it's a great endurance bike. But yeah, let's get into it. So real quick, I briefly mentioned that Specialized has the Roubaix, which is their endurance platform bike. Very nice looking bike. I actually thought about getting the lower end version of it when I first started getting into it. And then Trek has the Dumani, which I actually started with the Dumani. I had the SL8 Gen 4, I think it was, but it had problems with the seat post and the ISO speed, and I had to warranty it and I had to take it back, and that's what led me to get the Madone. But the Dumani is the Trek version of their endurance bike. An endurance bike is going to put you more upright. The ergos are not as aggressive, and but it's a little bit heavier, and it's not going to be as sleek, and it's not going to be as nimble as either of the Tarmac or the Madone. But I don't want to sway you from not getting an endurance bike. I still plan on getting an endurance bike in the next few years, and maybe build that one up and maybe take it for a century ride or something. All right, so one of the keys for endurance is comfort, and the 2025 Tarmacs, they come stock with I think it's called the Power Pro Mirror seat. I think it's called Mirror because it has the Specialized logo right here. I don't know, but if you know the bisaddle seats that they do or advertise on Instagram, it looks exactly like it. But it's very comfortable. It's squishy. I'm sure I can upgrade to this kind of seat on the Madone, but just the fact that it came stock with this makes it for a good endurance bike because of the comfort. And then the tires. So the tires, these are road endurance tires. It's the S-Works T-Bliss, or for tubeless. Tubeless already, they're not tubeless. There's tubes in here, but they're 32 millimeters, and it's a lot more comfortable. It's not as fast as the Madone, but provides for more comfort. And there's a picture of or a video of the tread. Another thing that one of the YouTubers that I follow mentioned on the Madone was that the bike computer is angled upward, but on the Tarmac, when you put it on, it's actually angled downward, so you can see it. So, I mean, what difference does that make? Well, I think a lot of riders prefer it straight or not angled upward, because when they're leaning over and they're sweating, the sweat gets all over the computer. I mean, not to say that it wouldn't flow or you can easily wipe it off, but I guess they prefer that it's not angled upward. Let me show it to you how it looks on the Madone. But yeah, it's slightly angled downward here on the, there you go, on the Tarmac. All right, just a quick reference. See the Tarmac? And the computer is angled upward by about 3 or 5 degrees. It's never bothered me. I could actually see it a lot better when I'm riding the Madone. All right, so I have the bikes both side by side. Again, the focus is on the Tarmac, but I wanted to put the Madone next to it for reference. Yes, I do still strongly believe that the Tarmac is a better endurance bike if you're riding it for endurance. But yeah, you don't need to see me in the video. You just need to see what I measured. See that tape measure in the back next to my bike computer. Now, disclaimer, I am not a bike service engineer. I'm not a professional bike anything. I just ride bikes, and I do these for fun, and but I do know how to take measurements. So let me talk about what I measured. So the first thing I measured was the handlebars. I think the handlebars on the Tarmac look sleeker. See how thin they are, the Roval, and these are a little bit clunky on the Madone, a little bit thicker, but it's supposed to be more aero, supposedly. And then, but look at the Madone, look at that sleekness on the front part here. Forgot what that's called, front stem. And then this one's a little bit flat. But anyway, the handlebars, where I hold on to the most, right here on this part, to this part, that was 17 inches across. And on the drop bars at the widest point, it was 17 and a quarter. And then on the Madone, it was 16 and a half from here to here. And then on the widest part of the drop bars, it was actually 17 and 3/4. So the drop bars are a little bit wider on the Madone. All right, from the side, the wheelbase, basically from the very front of the tire to the end of the crank, they were identical at 37 inches. So front of the tire to the end of the crank right there on the pedal, 37 inches. Now the toe overlap from that part of the tire to the end of the crank was also identical, and they were both at 10 inches. So whatever shoes I'm wearing, they overlap on the front tire, and it kind of scuffs the shoes, and you got to be careful when you're turning. So that's a problem for both bikes. All right, now I'm going to call this the front bike height. So from the very bottom of the front tire to the top of the stem, it was 37 inches on the Tarmac and 38 inches on the Madone. Now I think because the Madone, they use an extra spacer to stack the handlebars. So you can take them off and just slam them all the way down, but it's gonna be uncomfortable. This one's a little bit lower. Easy fix, but I like where it's at right now. All right, we're gonna call this straddle height. So from the center of the top tube, when you're off your bike and you're kind of resting or waiting at a stoplight and you're unclipped, they were both identical at 30.5 inches. So sorry, I'm looking at my paper here with the measurements. So the Tarmac was 30.5 from the center to the ground, and the Madone was 30.5. So I call that the straddle height. So it's real important because when you're standing neutral and you're not sitting down and you're kind of hovering over the bike, you want that to be comfortable enough height that it's not hitting your crotch, and that you have plenty of space. All right, so now I'm gonna get into the science part of this. So I'm not trying to brag, but I have my doctorate. So I kind of understand how to do research. how to prove and disprove a hypothesis and how to test out a theory, and you just got to science it. So why is the Tarmac, to me, a better endurance bike? And I've always said in my videos, it's how I feel, right? It's this feel that I get physiologically, physically, how my body feels and how it reacts. So I discovered why, and I'm about to tell you about it. All right, so this part right here is called the seat tube. And on the, let me see it on the Madone. So on the Tarmac, this is the seat tube. And on the Tarmac, the seat tube is 18 inches. And on the Madone, it's 17 inches. This part, this diagonal part right here with the logo, that's the down tube. There, see the Trek one in the background. And on the Tarmac, the down tube is 28 inches. Again, 28 inches. And then on the Madone, it's 26.5 inches. And then this part right here is the top tube. And on the Tarmac, the top tube is 23.5 inches. And on the Madone, it is 22.5 inches. So again, the science part. So the seat tube, the down tube, and the top tube, it's what constructs the power of the frame. All right, I think we can wrap up this video. Unsure what you guys think about it, but I thought it was a lot of fun, especially the science part. So the conclusion, so when you develop a hypothesis, you have to have some sort of conclusion. So why the Tarmac is more comfortable or a better endurance bike to me is because it's longer. It's a longer bike, slightly longer from the top tube to the seat tube to the down tube. So it makes it a longer bike. So that's why the Madone is faster, because it's shorter. It's a lot more nimble, because it's a lot less bike to move around. So that's why it's also faster. So I did weigh both bikes. They both, and I'm not even kidding, they both weighed 17.4 pounds, which is insane that they both weighed that same amount. That's totally dry. Both air in both tires to max PSI and the water bottle cages without the water bottles. Yeah, 17.4 pounds, which is crazy, which tells you that the Tarmac might be a little bit lighter because it's a longer, bigger bike. So I give the edge in weight to the Tarmac. Also, when I'm straddling this bike, I feel that it is bigger compared to the Madone. Now, again, I'm 5'9", 178 to 183 pounds, which doesn't really matter. So it's the height, and my inseam is 30.5 inches. So that puts me traditionally at a 54. The Tarmac is a size 54, and I'm supposed to be a 54 on the Madone, but Madone has new sizing, and they put me at a medium. So I think that's another issue because Trek went away on the Madone with they went away with two sizes. So I honestly think that the medium to me is like a 53 if the 53 size existed, but it doesn't. So it's kind of like in between a 50. So it's probably a 53, which is why it feels a little bit shorter, more compact. This one's a little bit more true to size. So I think if you're leaning towards the Tarmac, they have a more diverse sizing portfolio. So yeah, you're gonna have more options with this. And yeah, I think that's it. Basically, my conclusion is this is a better endurance bike. First, I can always change out the tires on either and switch them out. I can make this more aero. I can make it faster by putting race tires on here. I can always put that kind of seat on the Madone and vice versa. But there's no need to do that because I own both bikes. So just ride this one for more endurance, and if I want to go fast on this bike, I'll eventually change out the tires. But if you're still on the fence, if you're leaning towards proper sizing and just other factors, I talked about the climbing in other videos and the speed. Definitely that one is faster. So last Saturday, because I felt so bad because I've been spending too much time or so much time on the tarmac, I took the Madone out for a 40 miler and to prove that it's also a capable endurance bike, and it was fast and it did well. And I'm like, you know what, this is a pretty badass bike for endurance also. But I think I was just deluding myself and, you know, trying to give it love also. If I want to go fast and if I want to basically perform and just be quick and nimble and show off, because the Madone obviously looks better to me. It's more aesthetically pleasing. It just looks better. This one's a little bit plain, you know, but if I just want to show it off, then I'll just take the Madone. But if I'm going on my first century ride, I plan on taking this one. But anyway, I'm all over the place digressing, and I thought this was a lot of fun. So again, the conclusion was, because it's a longer bike, more true to size, more true to my 5'9" height and frame. It's more, you know, adept or appropriate for endurance. So I think that's what I came up with. But anyway, maybe I'll do a part 2, just actually talking about the endurance parts as I ride. But this is good for now. So everyone have a good weekend ahead, and thanks for watching.